What's up guys, Krazie here. Welcome to my first ever tutorial here on this Tech Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to be showing you how to get started in Sony Vegas making videos just like this one, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Oh my god, I gotta do something about the sound effects in that intro. My goodness. Anyway, we gotta get into Sony Vegas so I can get you guys making videos. That's right, we're gonna get you guys making something today, right? That's the whole idea. Get you started in Sony Vegas. I'm using version 13. It doesn't really matter. The same concepts apply. And if I could learn to talk, I wouldn't have to edit out that little bitty part. Anyway, so here we go. First thing you want to do once you get into Sony Vegas, which is what we're in now, if you guys don't know what you're looking at, is of course come in here to File, Properties, and what we're going to do is we're going to check this out, make sure this is what we wanted. 1990 by 1080. 60 frames per second, and then start all projects with this. You can set this up any way that you want, any file size. There's a little drop down here. You can set this up. That I just use a custom one, make it mine, and I just kept it named that. Of course, if you want to name it something like tutorial, if I could spell, and click save, and we're going to save it anyway. I already have one anyway. Click apply, and then okay, this sets up your project files, so that way you are good to go from here on out. I would say set up a couple of them depending on which recording devices you are using, but hey, that is entirely up to you. The end results that matters. So to get a footage in here, there's a couple different ways, but first let's cover what we're looking at here so you understand. Over here it says your project media, Explorer, transitions. You have your video effects, media generators. These are different things you can do. We will get into those another time. Right now, we're going to worry about project media. Up here, there's a couple little icons. We'll explain those in a minute. Over here is your preview window. Let's put this back to Windows default. Default layout, boom. This is what you'll normally see when you open up Vegas. I like to do it like this. Just an FYI. Close that window, bring this down so you can see what you're doing just a little better. Quick tip. Anyway, moving on. To bring in footage, you can either, of course, you can drag and drop by, of course, open your window, and you can head wherever you store your videos or wherever you store your good stuff at. What am I doing? What am I doing? This PC. There we go. Boom. Anyway, so we'll just go into that and drag it on over. Just like so, and boom, you are in like that. Drag and drop, which is nice. There's another way to do it. Of course, you can, let's delete that. Of course, to do that, just, click on whatever file you want and hit delete on your keyboard, and you delete your file. So you can also click on that little file guy right there, and we will do the same thing. This way, you can actually drag in more than one by clicking Control or Shift on your keyboard to highlight whichever files you want, and then open like so. Boom, now we have two files in for the price of one. Interesting, right? On we go, onward. So let's move on to getting a file down in here where you can work with it. Down here is your workflow, as I like to call it. Anyway, here we are in with the file. Boom, boom, boom. All you got to do is you can move your cursor across and you can pick your spot. You can also highlight a section by just simply clicking and dragging. Very nice, right? And if you highlight a section, you can play just the one section. If you're having issues like that, where it's kind of laggy when you're trying to watch it, come up here, change your preview to something lower bit like so, and that will help somewhat. We're running a pretty big format, and of course I have OBS going in the background recording this, so we're kind of straining things, but that's okay. Over here is your play options or your media player controls. Of course, you have repeat, play from start, play, pause, stop, go to start, go to end, previous frame, and of course next frame. These are very nice because you can actually kind of pick your spots. We won't worry about that too much, but what we're going to do is do an edit, right? So of course we have our first clip in. We're going to pick our spot where we're going to exit out here. Do I get the kill? Do I get the kill? Do I get the kill? Yes. Looks. Oh no, I missed. Epic fail, but that's okay. We'll bring it up again. Nope, we're going to get the... And I missed twice. So we get two misses. That's going to be a great clip, right? See where your cursor is? Hit S on your keyboard to break that up. Delete that section. It was highlighted. We're going to drag in our other clip, do the same thing. And we'll pick a different spot here. S. and S, delete our clips, boom, boom, bang, all the way back. So you see what I did there? I overlapped them just a little bit. And what that does is gives you a nice little transition. Let's drag that back to about a second. There we go, a second transition. You see we're kind of ADSing there, coming out of the ADS. And, ooh, nice, smooth, simple transition right into the next frame. Simple, right? Now, of course, you have your video all made up. You have all your cuts made. We'll just make another one there just for giggles so you can kind of see. Drag that back to a second so you can kind of see this is our video file. Now, you can immediately render this from here. One of the things I like to do is double click on this bar right above everything. This one right above your time key. Double click that so it creates this bracket around your footage so that way you know exactly what you're going to be rendering. I always do it just because I have a little bit of OCD. Can you tell? Anyway, to make your video file, come up here to this little guy right here. Open this panel, and of course this is where all the magic happens. First and foremost, let's name our footage tutorial. Dun, 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 dun. And then we're going to want to make our output format whatever we want. Now, I have made this one, and you can see I've highlighted it, but we'll go ahead and open this up so you can see my settings. Of course, we have Internet HD 1080p 60 frames per second comp. That's what I named it. So when you, just like before, click on your little save template here once you're done creating your file. We'll do that here in just a second so you can see how it's done. Boom. Here's our, of course, frame size, profile high, frame rate 60 frames per second. That's just what I like. And of course, variable bit rate 30 and 25 million. Render CPU only. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, you can add this as well. It will speed up your renders. I like to use CPU only because my GPU is, well, it's a little dated and it doesn't like to render. Last but not least, come over here to your file. Make sure this guy is always checked on best. Back over to video. Rename it tutorial. If I could spell, like so, whatever. We'll just leave it as tutor. Click on that and boom, it is saved. So when you drop this down, you have your instant file. So you can change it to whatever and then come right back to, and it comes back to what you wanted. Let's put it back to what I like for me. Click OK. And then you have your file, and of course you want to pick its location. You can see it's here. It's going to my desktop, and then click render. That is it. It will sit here and go through its motions depending on your CPU and your GPU. If you like what you've seen, make sure you give a thumbs up on the video below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this, and of course comment below if you want to see more tutorials, and of course which programs and what tutorials you'd like to see. I will see if I can't pull it off for you. Anyway, we'll check you out next time, guys. Peace out.